Walking around here at Bear Scott Stadium. I want to talk about the current movie watching period. Some of the dead times of movie watching through the year. This is one of them. So one of them is the period post Labor Day to Horror Fest. That's a pretty dead period. There's a couple in there typically watch, but a little bit of a Bermuda Triangle type of period. And then you also have the post Horror Fest to most of November. Now we have Thanksgiving Fest. So there's a little period there that's pretty dead itself. But March, I believe, is the most indistinguishable month of all the months of the year as it pertains to movie watching. We have, you know about the summer season is broken into really 3 different sections of movie watching. You got Horror Fest, now we got Thanksgiving Fest, we got Christmas Fest. The January films are 50s, 60s sci-fi for the most part, and a couple others in there. Then we go into Omen season. Omen season ends either early March or late February. It's preferably to end it in late February, but recently it's been very early March before the time change. And once we finish Omen season, that always feels like the official end to a movie watching year, and it's over. And then it picks up with another season that I'm going to talk about in a couple weeks when it starts. Okay, it usually starts at the kind of the end of March and then into like early May or even beyond. And it's one of my favorite periods of movie watching, and it's very underrated, and I haven't really talked about it that much. But the period between either late February or early March basically covers most of March, is just a real dead period. And the movies that are watched then, there's really nothing specific, and most of them are just movies you don't get too excited about, and I would just refer to it mostly as just filler movies. Just things that kind of fill the time, things that have been kind of done to death. There was The Demon a couple weeks back. There was, you could go with some of the Brad Crandall narrative movies, like we did Beyond and Back a couple weeks back. After Omen season ended, you could go In Search of Noah's Ark. On Saturday's movie was a perfect choice. The Boogeyman, 1980. There's one called, like I said, we did The Demon. You could do like Maniac. Sunny atmosphere movies, it seems. There's also some sunny atmosphere short films. I did The Daylight Zone recently, did The Appointment recently, did Late One Night last week from 2001, and then today, if we do a One for All the Marbles, maybe have a couple choices there, short films, sunny atmosphere, like one called 1201 from 1990, and another one called The Crossing from 1994. These are just things to fill the gap, to fill the time, filler films, till we get to that late March period, that spring period of movie watching. Just kind of buying some time, nothing exciting, but I think the way it sets up this year to kick off the new year of movie watching, I think it sets up March 29th is a Friday. It's the official beginning of spring break, and that really lends itself to the viewing of 1972's Terror at Red Wolf Inn. It's 72 or 73. It was kind of early 70s. Terror at Red Wolf Inn. Absolute gem of a low budget film. And I think later next week, to kind of set that up, be good to go with something early 80s horror that's not great. Nothing memorable. It would be a nice way to kind of finish out the filler period, set that movie up, and set up the rest of the films that are to come. I'll talk about that period next week.